Hey, this is 3 tips for the replay system. The first one is going to be in this scenario where I'm going to try and flash off this wall for a kill on Heaven with my TP. To be honest, looking at the play critically, it's pretty bad. Like, I realistically shouldn't be able to get a kill off this, really. The only time I'm ever going to get a kill off it is if someone is out onto the balcony and they are specifically far enough away where they can't drop off or go back inside. So it's honestly a pretty low chance play to like actually convert this. But the reason why I want to talk about it is because it shows like how valuable my flash can be, or like what I need to actually happen for my flash to be good, or like where I need to put it on the wall and that kind of thing. So you can kind of just see where your flash is actually hit, which is kind of nice, right? So you can see this flash. That's what my play idea was, right? And it didn't hit the Sage. So if I go into the Sage's perspective and we go this way, I can actually see that it doesn't flash her because realistically she has a pretty stupid angle on balcony, right? Like, this is not going to be a very good angle to actually play in actual games most of the time, right? Because bear in mind they're on a time crunch, right? It's 2v3, a time crunch against a Brimstone, so that they're really going to have to they're really struggling here. If they want to try and win this round, actually they can't be affording to be in angles like this. So it makes sense. My play kind of makes sense. It makes sense in some ways because I know that they should be trying to get out when possible, and I was looking for this play on the person Heaven, so I knew that that was the case. And I tried to time it, and obviously I didn't time it very well because this person is taking their sweet time. But yeah, it just shows that I can move my flashes maybe to hit this position, or I can just have a general sense of like where this actually hits, and basically have a better understanding of when I actually need to time this. Now we can look at the Yoru perspective. That was the flash for Heaven, so it did actually flash this guy. So that might be valuable to note for me in future, that I can flash behind truck using that flash. At least briefly. And yeah, it ends up being that we win the round. Honestly, it take years to kill the Sage, but I end up killing this guy as well afterwards. Okay, so this is another example, and it makes me look really bad. But it's, you know, for the necessary example, like, so basically I die here because of stupid TP. I mistimed it with my flash. I kind of got that from the perspective of from my perspective, right? But I can look at Raze's perspective and just see like how this actually affected her, right? Which is like really valuable information for me trying to do this in the future and for me to get better at the timing it and all that kind of stuff, right? It's obviously super easy for this person. While she did get flashed, I missed on my TP, right? It's very clear that she could easily get this kill while blind. And the thing is that in game, I might have not realized that this person was blind or not. I didn't actually have a clue. Like, they could have just been randomly looking a different place or direction or whatever, right? Basically, I could see that this person actually got flashed by my flash. So it's just nice to see that I did actually flash this person. And it just gives me like an indicator of like where I'm actually throwing my flashes, like good, bad, or whatever, right? It's just that I need to work on the timing with my TPs. Okay, so for this one, I want to talk about some things with like timing and macro and that kind of thing. And this one's like a pretty simple example, so it's not going to go too crazy. But this one is just about pre-aiming and pre-firing, right? So right here, I can just see that I successfully pre-aimed and pre-fired this guy. And he's very, very angry about it. I mean, he's literally, well, he did type afterwards, but he was pretty angry about it. And from his perspective, it's kind of valuable sometimes to look at their perspective, because you'll see like exactly what they're planning to try and do, right? He probably didn't realize that his clove smoked mid. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, you can kind of see what their plan was. And that's can be quite valuable for in the future what you want to do in terms of pre-firing, pre-aiming, because sometimes that might change. So there is another kill I get in the start of Reyna. Pretty sure it's this one. It's on the Reyna. But if I hadn't pre-fired the Reyna here, I would be thinking about in this replay about what would I do with this chamber, right? You can see the chamber doing the jump spot, or doing the jump peak with the operator. And I ended up getting the Reyna here with my pre-aim, with my pre-fire. If I didn't get this kill and I looked at this replay, I'd be thinking, where would I aim and stand to try and pre-aim and pre-fire this guy? In fact, I can do it now anyway, you know, without because you know to get this kill. But like, there would be more reason for me to think about this potential kill here. So what could I do? And bear in mind as well, something that's really important about this kind of thing is with the replay, is that something we actually have access to in this situation. So this is where he landed, right? And we have access in this situation, we have access to free camera. And we have to bear with me because the free cam sensitivity is super, super sensitive. Like, it's really fast. So I might misalign things. But we can see him here, right? And Oh my god. And we can sort of try and find a place where we can stand and pre-aim this sometimes. It might help to go in like a custom game as well to attempt to kind of find an angle and like the pre-aim that you will kind of want, right? I accidentally kind of went, I'm not sure, can I do this? Yeah, I can. Okay. So maybe if I pre-aim here, would I be able to do it, right? So if I just try and put myself in that position. Okay, so that actually looks kind of good, right? I shot on 137, and on 137, he was only a tiny bit away from this angle, this like corner here, right? So if I want to pre-aim his jump spot, even though like it might not be a very common jump spot, but I could even think about this like potentially if someone does do this jump spot in a game and then I see it and I can maybe adapt to that if that's the way they constantly do it throughout the game. I now have the knowledge of if I stand in this corner and then I aim just to the left of this corner here, this one over here, then I have the knowledge that I could potentially pre-aim them and pre-fire them at 137. So this just helps with this kind of stuff where I can kind of troubleshoot this on the fly with the replay. I don't have to kind of do as much guesswork as I used to have to do with this kind of stuff. Okay, and we're going to stay in this game for my final tip as well. And honestly, this is my last kill of the game. As you can kind of see here, we ended up losing this, by the way, from 11-5, well, like 11-3 actually or something. We ended up losing this game. Kind of unfortunate. I played pretty bad at the end, so it was kind of my fault in a lot of ways. But I wanted to kind of highlight this dart, right? Because honestly, there's a real world where we can win this 3v5. If I am better with my dart here, because what happens here is I get one scan on the chamber, and so this dart, and I can go in free cam and see where the dart landed, and so this dart landed here, and as you can see, it's going to be going out and scanning. It lands on top of chamber, so it insta scans him. But if I play it, it actually misses the clove because they end up going around the corner in the perspective of this dart. They're just a bit around the corner. The reason why they're around the corner here, because it looks like the dart can see them. The reason why they're around the corner here is because the center of the head is not visible to the dart. So they're not actually visible. Like, it needs to be the center of the head for the dart to actually see it. And obviously the dart can't see it. So I could have got a better, more valuable dart here. I could have just put it straight out the smoke. It may have got shot instantly, to be fair. But this one had less chance of being shot. But now I can actually kind of see what I needed to do and where to put my dart to actually get the most value. Obviously, I can't take away like what the enemies would have done differently if I did dart in a certain position. Like if I darted in front of here, the jet seems quite ready to shoot that dart. So maybe that dart wouldn't have been good. Maybe I should have darted on top of here. Maybe I could have darted onto this corner here, so it would have scanned the stairs as well as these two people, and maybe we would have got more frags from that one dart, and it would have led to the round being won. I thought this was a good one because it was quite big to win this round. So if I had played this a bit differently and a bit better with my dart placement, we would have got more frags from this probably, because, you know, the clove is only 1 HP anyway as well with no ult, so it would be fairly winnable if it was a multi-frag from this dart. So that's like a pretty big mistake from my part, and now I know kind of where I should be trying to aim my dart a lot more and be a lot more intentional with where I'm aiming my dart, because clearly if I get it in the stairwell, it's going to get less value. So I need to be a bit more conscious of where I'm actually putting it in these situations. I should start thinking about putting it on the floor, which to be fair, I usually do that, but it usually gets shot quite easily. Maybe I should think about being in the smoke and then putting one onto this wall here or something. Like, there's plenty of options I can kind of think about now, because it's kind of opened this thought process up to me by looking at the replay. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with all the replay system stuff. There will be more videos to come on the replay system, especially as it gets more updated. And I'll be using it and utilizing it as it gets more updated as well. Hopefully with some codes and things, because I do think the replay system is in like its worst state right now. It's only going to get better, I think, with the codes from pro play, the codes from other people. So it's going to be easier to coach. It's going to be easier to dissect pro games, because you're going to have access to free roam, the full replay, everyone's perspective. It's going to be really good. But until then, I will still make I'll probably be making some videos about the replay system, some tips here and there, some things that I've noticed, and I'll probably use the replay system to also pick up on other things in the game and explain more wider things other than just focusing on the replay system itself. If you want to see more content like this, then subscribe and like, it always helps, and I'll see you in my next one.